Coming up today on Breeze TV.
Cha-ching, the city of Harrisonburg cashes in on its tourism numbers.
And a new mental health service arrives just in time.
Plus, we head to the pitch to catch up with JMU's nationally ranked club.
And the iconic Miss Gay Harrisonburg celebrates 25 years.
All this and more on today's episode of Breeze TV.
Live from the Allison B. Parker Studio in the School of Media Arts and Design at James Madison University, this is Breeze TV.
Welcome back to Breeze TV. I'm Joshua Dixon.
And I'm Kayla Brown.
Harrisonburg's tourism economy had a successful 2021 year, according to the Virginia Tourism Corporation. The city reached $214 million, which accounted for 2,095 jobs. With $10.9 million in local tax dollars being generated because of this, Harrisonburg tourism manager Jennifer Bell said, quote, "Every local tax dollar collected from the tourists goes to support services and resources for the citizens of Harrisonburg."
A new required online training course focusing on mental health awareness and sexual misconduct was released for JMU students and faculty this semester. The training has received mixed reviews. Our senior anchor Maggie Rickerby shows us the issues and the successes with the new program.
An interactive training developed by Cognito included 2 courses, Sexual Misconduct Prevention and At-Risk Mental Health, with information on how to help peers experiencing issues with both topics. Shadi Bakhtiari, student body president, said that with an expansive student body with a variety of experiences, requiring a comprehensive training with a feedback aspect was a great way to disperse these messages.
People are very scared to talk about mental health. People are very scared to talk about sexual misconduct, which totally, it makes sense. You know, they're sensitive subjects. They're things that you really have to approach with nuance and with care. And so I think, you know, developing this software, really going through all the taking back user feedback, like I think that in and of itself is a really great step that JMU's taking.
Senior Spencer Heron said that he found the training to be too general and unhelpful. He said that he and other peers agreed that the interactive section about consent in the Sexual Misconduct Prevention course was uncomfortable.
Overall, the entire thing was very uncomfortable, but I think part of it's that it deals with uncomfortable topics, but sections just were uncomfortable for the wrong reasons.
Aiden Jung, Senior Client Specialist Manager at Cognito, said that with the help of experts, appropriate representation of victims was a key focus in the development of the trainings. He said that the consent piece needed to be explicitly clarified according to federal education and training requirements.
That's one element that had to be there, and we took great strides in making sure that that experience was both informative and authentic, but not overly or egregiously triggering or showing any explicit content that may make people feel challenged, but not necessarily discomfort.
At the end of the trainings, JMU and other local resources are listed for students to turn to if they need help. Reporting for Breeze TV, I'm Maggie Rickerby.
The original deadline to finish the training was October 1st. JMU administrators say they're giving a grace period before enforcing holds on student records.
JMU Counseling Center has introduced a new way to seek professional mental health services. Our reporter Noel James did a deep dive on this issue.
With mental health concerns on the rise, the Counseling Center partnered with Timely MD to provide Timely Care, a free, round-the-clock, insurance-free access to mental health services. Students get up to 12 scheduled telehealth counseling visits annually. Students can be matched virtually with licensed providers of their choosing. Student representative to the Board of Visitors, Xavier Williams, said that the university will work to maintain the accessibility of Timely Care.
We want to make sure that this resource is still going to be affordable to our students. Right now, it doesn't cost. And so how do we kind of keep that in place so students can receive this resource at a way that it won't become a financial burden?
Timely Care will make the workload of the Counseling Center a little bit easier. It offers guided self-care, health coaching, 24/7 on-demand sessions, scheduled counseling visits, and psychiatry. Student body president Shadi Bakhtiari said that the Counseling Center would not have chosen a more appropriate time to introduce Timely Care.
I think the student body gets the brute end of it. The student body lives that experience, but I don't think it goes without saying that admin is putting in the work.
The administration is working to better mental health of students by implementing some changes, including the extension of fall break and putting up more advertisements on mental health resources. It's been further stated that mental health is a topic that is held with serious regard by both student leadership and administration. They have been able to improve campus mental health by listening to student opinions.
If you give students the opportunity to sit at the table and have a microphone at the table, they will help you in developing the solution.
Dr. Holly Hall, a licensed clinician and the new Dean of Students, said that administration is doing its best to take care of its students.
I think that this is just one of many things that we're doing to try to position ourselves in a better place to meet the needs of our students. So I think it is timely care, but it is timely.
Reporting for Breeze TV, I'm Noel James.
JMU students have been working together to help a country in need. The Association for Supply Chain Management Student Forum sent a shipment of supplies to Ukraine last week. The ASCM has been collecting items ranging from medical supplies to furniture since September. The group hopes to make a positive impact and create a difference for those affected by the conflict in Ukraine. Coming up next, an update on President Biden's student debt relief plan.
Plus, what do students really know about local elections?
Then, your weekly update on the stock market.
Stay put, and we'll be right back.
Bojangles, Cajun Filet Biscuit. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Nothing compares to our signature Cajun spiced chicken breast filet on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Breakfast so good, we serve it all day. Get the best chicken biscuit. The one, the only Cajun Filet Biscuit. For a limited time, get 2 Cajun Filet Biscuits for just $5. Bojangles, it's bow time. The one, the only Bojangles, Cajun Filet Biscuit. Nothing compares to our signature Cajun spiced chicken breast filet on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit is so good, we serve it all day. For a limited time, get 2 Cajun Filet Biscuits for just $5. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Tailgating is a song heard across campuses, parking lots, and open fields. They say this song can be heard elsewhere, and perhaps this is true, but it is nowhere near as bright, nowhere near as loud, nowhere near as triumphant as it is right here. Tailgating may not have been born here, but here is where tailgaters are born.
Head to Bojangles for a Chicken Supremes combo with your choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and a drink. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Prescription drug pricing points to corporate
Freedom of the press is about your right to know.
and Clark sheer athleticism.
It's about your right to be informed. Today, there are real threats to press freedom
reaching residential areas.
and your right to know about the world around us. We must protect our right to know, no matter what kind of news is important to you. Before it's too late, understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
This is Breeze TV.
Good afternoon, JMU. I'm Regine Aranazari, and this is Breeze TV Politics. Applications for Biden's student loan forgiveness program are expected to be released in the coming weeks. Pell Grant recipients can receive up to $20,000 in debt relief, while non-Pell Grant recipients can qualify for up to $10,000. Individuals with incomes less than $125,000 and households with incomes less than $250,000 are eligible for the program. Relief will be available to borrowers of federal family education loans, federal Perkins loans, and defaulted loans held by the Education Department, as well as recipients of William D. Ford federal direct loans. For more information, you can access it through the link on the screen. Yesterday, President Biden granted clemency to thousands of Americans convicted of federal marijuana possession charges and those convicted in the District of Columbia. Biden has encouraged governors to pardon state possession charges, which greatly outnumber federal convictions. The pardons will not be extended to non-U.S. citizens. The White House has also announced that they will review the scheduling of marijuana as a Class 1 drug, the same category as heroin and LSD. This news comes as a bold move for the Biden administration ahead of midterms, who hope this will encourage more Democrats to head to the polls. On the topic of midterms, our reporter Alexa Bonilla spoke to some fellow Dukes regarding their voting plans.
I'm here on campus asking students if they're registered to vote and finding out what they know about local elections. Are you registered to vote?
No, I am not.
I registered to vote 3 weeks ago, I think. I am not, no.
I'm not. I just turned 18 a couple months ago.
Given how the past couple elections have gone to the candidates, I don't really feel any big motivation to register to vote for a candidate I don't really believe in.
Are you registered to vote in Harrisonburg or your hometown?
I'm registered to vote in my hometown.
How do you plan on voting?
I guess by absentee ballot, probably. My parents can help me figure that out.
Do you know who the candidates are?
Not right now. I need to get on that.
Is it Bill Klein and that woman?
Why are local elections important?
Well, not only do they affect us directly, but especially a community like JMU and college towns like that. There's so many of us that we don't even know how directly we'll be impacted by these candidates and what their policies are. So it's critical that we voice our opinions to get the best possible candidate in office.
I definitely do think that they're important, but the way that the American voting system is set up in the media, the media kind of portrays it, I feel like they don't get nearly enough of the attention and coverage that they do. I kind of forget about them most of the time, and I think a lot of other people tend to as well.
So will you register to vote?
Maybe I will now.
I will. You know what? I'll do it today.
Yes.
You just reminded me. Thank you.
Reporting for Breeze TV, I'm Alexa Bonilla.
The last day to register to vote online is October 17th, but Virginians will now be able to register in person on Election Day at their local voting registrar. The last day to request an absentee ballot is October 28th. And now for our Madison market update. U.S. stocks continue to decline today following the release of September's job report, which showed that the economy added 263,000 jobs last month, signifying that the Federal Reserve will continue to increase interest rates. The Nasdaq plummeted nearly 3%, while the S&P fell 2.1% and the Dow slid 1.5%. Crude oil's futures continue to climb following OPEC's announcement on Wednesday to cut oil production by 2 million barrels per day, causing oil prices to spike. Democratic Illinois Representative Sean Casten called the cut in production a, quote, hostile act on Saudi Arabia's part. Marijuana stocks surged yesterday following Biden's clemency announcement, but headed towards declines this morning. Should marijuana be federally decriminalized, U.S.-based producers could see significant gains, while Canadian-based producers could face competition. That's all for Breeze TV Politics. Joshua and Kayla, back to you.
We're entering the third quarter.
The push continues for JMU football as they look for national recognition.
Plus, getting to the bottom of a scrum for club rugby.
Then, serving up an interview about our volleyball team.
Stay tuned for the second half of Breeze TV.
Bojangles, Cajun Filet Biscuit. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Nothing compares to our signature Cajun spiced chicken breast filet on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Breakfast so good, we serve it all day. Get the best chicken biscuit. The one, the only Cajun Filet Biscuit. For a limited time, get 2 Cajun Filet Biscuits for just $5. Bojangles, it's bow time. The one, the only Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit. Nothing compares to our signature Cajun spiced chicken breast filet on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit is so good, we serve it all day. For a limited time, get 2 Cajun Filet Biscuits for just $5. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Tailgating is a song heard across campuses, parking lots, and open fields. They say this song can be heard elsewhere, and perhaps this is true, but it is nowhere near as bright, nowhere near as loud, nowhere near as triumphant as it is right here. Tailgating may not have been born here, but here is where tailgaters are born.
Head to Bojangles for a Chicken Supremes combo with your choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and a drink. Bojangles, it's Bo time.
Every year, 4.5 million young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 visit the ER.
It's every parent's nightmare.
Umergency gives you all the tools you need to quickly and effectively manage your family's emergency. Umergency provides instant access to vital resources, customized to your student's campus and local community, digital consent form, and built-in urgent alert button. Umergency gives you peace of mind when you need it most. Download your Umergency app now.
This is Breeze TV.
JMU football looks to continue their undefeated streak against the Arkansas State Red Wolves this weekend. The Red Wolves are led by redshirt senior quarterback James Blackman, who threw for 254 yards in their 45-28 homecoming victory over the University of Louisiana Monroe. JMU redshirt senior tight end Drew Painter gave his input on the Arkansas State defense before this week's game.
They're physical. They got some solid DNs. Some of their linebackers play real downhill. They play pretty aggressive. They'll blitz every now and then, and their secondary is solid too. So they're all around good defense. But we've seen solid defenses the past few weeks, and you know, it's just about us. We got to play them and focus on what they're doing and build our game plan off of that.
The game kicks off at 7 p.m. at Central Bank Stadium.
The Arkansas State Games comes with JMU's first nationally televised game since joining the Sun Belt. The game will be aired on NFL Network in a deal with ESPN. JMU head coach Curt Cignetti spoke on the exposure.
I think all exposure, national exposure, we're getting significantly more now. It's just a great thing for the university athletic program and the football program. And, you know, we've been on the national platform before, but I'm glad they picked the game up, and, you know, we're looking forward to it.
The nationally televised game comes as the Dukes catch a lot of big media attention. The team scored 39 AP Top 25 votes and 30 USA Today Coaches Poll votes.
Men's Club Rugby travels to Temple this weekend as they look to continue their blazing hot start to the season. Sporting a record of 2-0 to begin the year, the team currently ranks among the top teams in the Coaches Poll, heading into their third matchup.
As JMU men's rugby begins to kick off their season, they do so with lofty expectations and a clear end goal in sight. Currently ranked 7th in the D1 AA Coaches Poll, the squad rides a streaking 2-0 start into a road matchup against Temple this weekend. The strong start can be attributed to many factors, ranging from good coaching to the cohesiveness of players.
Last year, I think it was just because we had injuries, and then we also just have another year under our belt, so this just adds to experience. People are finally starting just to get the simple stuff of the game.
Everyone's for the team. Everyone will make the hit, make the play for the team. No one's selfish.
Mark, it's in his second year here, so we're implementing a lot of stuff that he's brought with him, a lot of knowledge that he's had throughout his entire playing and coaching career.
Players have looked to not only Coach Mark Fowler, but each other for coaching and tips on the sport. While you may expect a team ranked so highly to be filled with lifelong players, they explain that some have never touched a ball upon arrival.
Literally, you could be fresh to the sport, and that's totally okay. If you join, you're joining a family. Like these guys I've been with for years now, I consider them my family.
Although gameplay on the field ultimately determines the final score, players admitted they enjoy feeding off the energy of fellow students attending a game.
Right here, John Carr Field.
We would love to have crowds come out and show support for the rugby team. When you hear some of your friends yelling from the sideline and cheering for you, so it always makes it a lot nicer when we get crowds out.
Fans can be sure to be treated to competitive gameplay as they work their way through the season with their eyes set on a championship.
To get there, it's one game at a time, so I'm really focused on Temple now. But once that game's over, we focus on the next one. So I say take it one game at a time.
We just got a great group of guys, and hopefully make it to the championship this year.
Most journeys begin with a single step, but for this team, a single practice, taking it day by day. Reporting for Breeze TV, I'm Eric Shellhouse.
We're now throwing it over to our reporter Colby Reese, who's in studio with Jackson Hepner from The Breeze to talk all things volleyball. Colby.
Thanks, Josh, and thank you, Jackson, for joining me today.
No problem.
Let's first start by talking about JMU's matchup this weekend, which is against Old Dominion. The Monarchs are undefeated in Sun Belt play, and the Dukes haven't lost at home. So how do you see this matchup playing out this weekend?
Yeah, so you mentioned how ODU is undefeated in Sun Belt play, but you really have to put that in context a little bit. So they're 2-0, and they've really only had the opportunity to play Marshall because their series last week against Georgia Southern was canceled because of Hurricane Ian. So they're much more of a question mark in terms of conference play. If you look at overall their whole season, they're about 7-9, which is definitely not where they wanted to be. Meanwhile, JMU has gone off to, I think, what I would consider the best start for them realistically if you were to tell me that they're going to start this way at the beginning of the season. You know, especially with that 3-1 start in conference play, their only loss being to Texas State, which is a really tough Texas State team that was a Sun Belt finalist the previous season. But other than that, they took care of business against App State in Godwin a few weeks ago, and I expect them to do the same tonight with ODU.
And you mentioned their strong start in conference play, and the rest of their matchup this season are conference play. So who are some of the key players and some of the things that they need to do to continue to have success?
All right. If you're going to go watch a volleyball match, I think the one player from JMU I would 100% say focus on is Sophie Davis. She's a senior middle blocker. She leads the team in blocks, and she's also second in kills. So she's not only a strong force defensively, but offensively as well. She is going to be a key player in this matchup.
And in an interview I had earlier this season with head coach Lauren Steinbrecher, she said that the correct answer to a successful season would be a championship. Do you think that's realistic for this team?
I definitely think it's realistic. I think at the very least they're going to contend come tournament time. There are a lot of tough volleyball teams in this conference. I'm not going to mince words about that. We already mentioned Texas State. South Alabama was the team that beat them in the championship. They're off to a strong start in their title defense. Coastal Carolina is in JMU's division. They're doing really well. I think that once we get to the tournament, definitely pay attention to it. It's going to be a dogfight, but I think that JMU could at the very least be a dark horse contender to win the whole thing.
Well, thanks again for joining me, and you can see JMU face off against ODU tonight at 6 p.m. and tomorrow at 1 p.m., both at the Sinclair Gymnasium located in Goblin Hall. Back to you, Kayla and Joshua.
Great stuff from both Jackson and Colby. Hopefully the Dukes continue their hot start. We're entering the final stretch here.
A spotlight on the Queens of Harrisonburg.
And a mid-semester celebration on JMU's infamous quad.
Then, a new podcast promoting body positivity on campus.
All this and more before we go.
Bojangles, Cajun Filet Biscuit. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Nothing compares to our signature Cajun spiced chicken breast filet on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Breakfast so good, we serve it all day. Get the best chicken biscuit. The one, the only Cajun Filet Biscuit. For a limited time, get 2 Cajun Filet Biscuits for just $5. Bojangles, it's bow time. The one, the only Bojangles, Cajun Filet Biscuit. Nothing compares to our signature Cajun spiced chicken breast filet on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit is so good, we serve it all day. For a limited time, get 2 Cajun Filet Biscuits for just $5. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Tailgating is a song heard across campuses, parking lots, and open fields. They say this song can be heard elsewhere, and perhaps this is true, but it is nowhere near as bright, nowhere near as loud, nowhere near as triumphant as it is right here. Tailgating may not have been born here, but here is where tailgaters are born.
Head to Bojangles for a Chicken Supremes combo with your choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and a drink. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Prescription drug pricing points to corporate
Freedom of the press is about your right to know.
and Clark sheer athleticism.
It's about your right to be informed. Today, there are real threats to press freedom
Reaching residential areas?
and your right to know about the world around us. We must protect our right to know, no matter what kind of news is important to you. Before it's too late, understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
This is Breeze TV.
A new drag queen was crowned Miss Gay Harrisonburg last Saturday. The pageant celebrated its 25th anniversary. It was the first pageant of its kind in Harrisonburg since 2019. Our reporter Sam Games celebrated with the queens, getting a closer look at their tight-knit community.
Drag queens put their hoops, heels, and hard work to the test to win the title of Miss Gay Harrisonburg.
I'm just excited to meet all the queens that are competing tonight and pass down the crown and meet a new sister, you know?
Miss Gay Harrisonburg is the Friendly City's one and only drag pageant. Drag queens from all over the country come to compete and judge. Tina Burner, a queen that was recently on RuPaul's Drag Race, brought a fiery passion to the pageant. For her, drag is not just entertainment.
Drag is an art form. It's not just people dressing up to be women. We dress up to perform and to reach people. It's our platform. You get to be in front of an audience and be in front of people, and you can change their minds.
The pageant started in 1996 with Selena Drake being crowned the first Miss Gay Harrisonburg. She said that during the pageant, they were met with protesters from extreme religious groups. Despite this, the community continued to grow and thrive.
Through the years, things have changed, and we've gotten bigger each year, and it's become a real big sisterhood.
It's incredible that the tradition has lasted this long.
Over the past 25 years, the community has become a space where people can express themselves.
A lot of us are looking for a family that we didn't get the love from growing up, and pageantry, it has that. It's a huge family base, and you get to be in the love of that.
This allows you to scream sometimes and be free and be fabulous.
And for some, the pageant has been life-changing. One of the judges says that Miss Gay Harrisonburg is a symbol of her freedom.
The night after I won Miss Gay Harrisonburg, I came out to my parents. So it was a very emotional weekend, but it was something that was such a huge weight lifted off me, and I was able to start really living my life.
However, during the pageant, it's all about the crown.
Our 25th Miss Gay Harrisonburg, Bellamy Star!
It's love and understanding and community and expression and to live life fearlessly and to be yourself.
Reporting for Breeze TV, I'm Sam Game.
What a great story there. Well done by Sam. As the middle of the semester approaches, students came together for halftime on the quad to enjoy a day of free food, outdoor games, and music. Student representative on the Board of Visitors, Xavier Williams, and creator of the event, said he wanted this to be a chance for students to take a time to de-stress from midterms before going home for fall break.
In the alma mater, I'm really reminded of the moment where it says, while friends remain in our heart and knowledge guides our way, James Madison will lead us on to conquer each new day. The focus of that is that while friends remain within our hearts, while the memories remain in our hearts, the knowledge that we gain here at JMU, it leads us on our way. And so my hope and my dream of this event and just making it to the halfway mark is I want to cherish those memories in my heart.
Even though halftime on the quad may be over now, Williams hopes to create more student support systems outside of the classroom by creating events to emphasize a sense of belonging within the student body.
Our news director, Zoe Mowry, is in studio with a student whose podcast is teaching Dukes how to love their bodies.
Here with Hayes Stasko, the creator of the Fat Podcast, a show that is aimed to emphasize the importance of body positivity in college life. I first just want to say thank you so much for joining us today. And can you just start off with telling us a little bit about what the podcast is about?
Yeah, for sure. This podcast is about struggling with your body image, eating disorders, and how that impacts everything that you do in college, from party life, going to sports events, and just simply going to classes.
And through the podcast, what have you actually learned about yourself?
Between talking to professionals, I've talked to nutritionists on the podcast, health behavioral specialists, even sex counselors. Through those conversations, I've learned so much more about me and how to be a better person individually. And it's not just been about helping other people, it's just been as rewarding for myself.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your own struggles that kind of were the shape of why you decided to create this?
Oh, for sure. I grew up in Los Angeles, so I came to Virginia with this mentality of I have to look the best, I have to be the best. When I came to James Madison, I already had an eating disorder, and it spiraled out of control. When I went home for winter break, my parents put their foot down. They said, you're not going back until you're better. And so I went through like an outpatient rehab. And when I came back to school, I had to figure life out again. And I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy, to have to figure out how to restart your life and how to restart everything and figure it out on your own. So for me, this podcast was almost a, hey, this is what I wish I knew.
Thank you so much, and back to you all at the main desk.
Wow, that's a wonderful story. You can listen on Spotify and the Buzzsprout website. To read more about the podcast, you can pick up a copy of this week's Breeze.
Another great episode here. Your first time on desk. How do you think you did?
I liked it, but I missed the production room.
Next week, we don't have a show as it's our fall break. I think all of us need a little bit of a decompressor next week. But tune in 2 weeks from now and we'll be back here again. And
enjoy your break and take care of yourself.